Hello. Stream 8. Alright. X is live. Facebook is live. YouTube is live. Twitch is live. And Kick is live. Alright. Cool. 1, 2, 3. All 5 services ready to go. Alright. Stream number 8. Oh, writing a book in 30 days. Let's go. Stream number 8, 8th day writing a book. I'm Gabriel Rathwig, author, best-selling Amazon author. But it's kind of a non-humble brag. All right, today we are at 20,741 words, as you can see in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. Oh, the book I'm writing is... Oh, let me see my cat. Hold on a second. Buddy, you okay? Book I'm writing is from Chef-Crafted Conqueror Book 6. It is the 6th book in the series. The first 5, I do a synopsis on the first stream for this. So, from Chef-Crafted Conqueror Book 6 Stream 1. That was 7 streams ago. Go ahead if you want to see a synopsis. Next up, thank you for following me on the streaming services. I'm a writer who streams, not a streamer who writes, so keep that in mind. And Blocky Word 48601, thanks for following me yesterday. And yeah, we are slowly growing of people. It's kind of cool. But looks like a lot of people want to write, or some people anyway. So I like this new format I'm doing. Writing for like an hour or so, take a break, come back in the afternoon, write for another hour. I like it. We are going to try that out for a little bit longer. So, what's today? Monday? Maybe I'll start again on Fridays, give a little synopsis of what's happened. But until then, I think we just hop right into what we've been doing. Writing tip. I always do a writing tip. You have 2 ways to look at your emotional state. 1, it can hinder your writing, or 2, it can help your writing. I believe if you use your emotional state, it can help your writing, not hinder it. You have to frame your whatever it is you're going through in the right state, of the right frame of mind. So like, for example, say you're going through a breakup, or you're going through just like a relationship issue. It could be of a sexual nature, could be not. But writing as a way to channel those emotions, I find, is a better way to use it than to use it as a block from being able to write. Anyway, that's a little bit of tip for you writers out there, how to channel your emotions into your work. All right, next. I don't really think I have too much next. The streams are working. Once again, I don't really answer the chat very often. Occasionally, I'll take a break from writing and then look at the chat. I have a 3-screen setup, so to that way, my right, your left, I don't know, is one screen, and then this way is the screen that I'm writing on, which is the one you see, and then the one in front of me is this recording software that I keep looking at to make sure it's working. Yeah. What are we at? 5 minutes? All right. So the goal is 500 words per half hour, 1,000 words per hour. So to hit 1,500 words, which is half the goal for today, we need an hour and a half. I'm going to try to do that in less than an hour. So that would be 750 words plus per half hour. So if we write for another hour and change, and say we hit now a 5-minute stream, I should be at 22,250-ish. So 22,250 should be the goal for the end of this stream. 22,250. All right, we'll see if we can hit that. And then after that, I'll do another 1,500, and that'll put us at like 23,750. Yeah. 23,5, but I'll probably write a little bit more. So before I get started, let me just take a look and see who's watching. Nobody watching on Facebook, nobody's watching on YouTube, and one person's watching on Twitch. Hello, hello. And nobody is watching. One person is watching on Kick. So Kick and Twitch. Hello, hello. Let's get writing. Let's do it. All right. Here we go. Let me put this up. Okay. All right. Let's see. Chapter 5 from Chef to Crafter Conqueror Book 6. I'll read this little bit and oh wait, right before I read, last chapter was about Saito, the head samurai, back on Tsushima Island, and they're figuring out that there are some things going on and some mysterious ships are taking a look at them. Okie doke. And then now we are on chapter 5. Chapter 5. Oh wait. Okay. Chapter 5. Oh wait, no, seriously. If you want to check out the books on your own and not see my synopsis, you can go on Amazon. Gabriel Rathweg, Rathweg, and it's from Chef to Crafter to Conqueror. Books 1 through 5. You can also check out my other books. I'm Gamer, White Soul, Tragic Kingdom, Earth Online. And yeah, now let's go. 7 minutes in, so an hour and 8 minutes. The entire competition of sinking the Waco Oni pirate ship took a little over an hour, although the first hit only took 3 tries and was done by one of the Class S boys. Jing, who was already boasting about how he was going to spend his winnings. Lord So, Ryo, and the other members of the command cadre left the competition under the care of Bosun Cho after that and turned their attention to the Hobbit retinue that had come over from the pair of ships they had rescued. Jiro excused himself and did not accompany them. Lord So started to object, but I whispered a few words, choice words, and he let his seneschal go. It wasn't the best way to start diplomatic negotiations with someone, by bringing an obviously hostile companion, unless your intention I need to rewrite that sentence. And unlike Jiro, I was not anti-Hobbit. At least not yet. Who knew what the future held? As it was, Lord So, Princess G, Captain Hiroki, Dampo, Marco Polo, and I... As it was, Lord So, Princess G, Captain Hiroki, Dampo, Marco Polo, myself, and Gigi, the Hobbit we'd rescued in Kamakura, comprised our delegation. I'm just doing this editing real quick if anybody's watching. Okay. Okay, here we go. All right. While most of our group had some contact and knowledge of the little people, the consensus was that the majority of said knowledge was either anecdotal or hypothetical or secondhand. Even Alan hadn't been able to give me much information beyond the little that was available in the scientific archaeological record. And all of that was based on a different world in a different timeline from 1,000 years in the future. The data he did have, he shared, though Alan, of course, shared what little data he had in his usual smug professorial way. Okay, now we pull up a little bit of how flow the vibes from other realms. Are they sufficiently inspiring today? Yeah, man, they are. They are rolling really good, Sean. Myself should be the last in the list. I don't know what you mean, man, but life's good, dude, and work's coming out well. The vibes are good. The vibes are good. I've been thinking a lot about what to write yesterday. So one thing I always do when I am not writing is thinking about what I'm writing. My wife is always like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I'll be like, "Nothing." And I'm honest, I'm just thinking about what I'm going to be writing. So like, I've been thinking about this Filipino excursion for a minute, and I really think there's like a underdeveloped or an underutilized like nobody really talks about ancient Philippines. Yeah, no, I know it should be myself, but I have to redo the sentence structure because no, man, most of us are not thinking about nothing. We're thinking about how to fucking wield a sword, or if I could jump my car over a ditch, or if somebody attacked my house in the middle of the night, what would I do? We're not really, I don't think most of us men are thinking of nothing. We're thinking of shit, but like when a girl asks you what you're thinking about, if you told her, she would just think you're stupid or they wouldn't get it. And my wife is like, if I was like sitting there and told her, I was like, well, no, actually, she's great about this. If I sit there and tell her, hey, I'm thinking about whatever I'm thinking about, she'll be like, oh, okay, is that for your book? But that's now, and that's after 14 years of being together. But like when we first started dating, if I told her that, she'd have been like, you're a fucking retard. She wouldn't have said that, but like, she's a social worker, but that's exactly what she would have fucking done. But yeah, as to myself, it is gonna be last, but I left like that because I have to rewrite that whole paragraph when I come to edits. Sometimes you'll see me leave bad grammar or just it's whatever it is. And a lot of times, most of the time it's on purpose because I have to rewrite that specific thing. So if I make it really stand out, I can make sure to come back to it. Yeah, that's right. Treehouse Isekai. That's cool. Nice. Treehouse Isekai. That'll be cool. Medieval. Ugh. Ow. I did this shoulder thing today. Anyway. Wait, I gotta stop talking to you. I'll talk to you in a few minutes. 30 of them, and to be exact. I gotta write some words before my time runs out and I don't hit my goal. Okay? But I'll talk to you in a few minutes, Sean. Alright, let me pull this over here real quick for everybody else. Distracting me. So, I talked earlier about Luzon, and this area, I think, is a real untapped part of the world that nobody really talks about. And it's such a big part. Like, the Philippines have such a unique history because, like, they had their indigenous population, then they had like Chinese settlers, then they had like Japanese settlers, then they had like other settlers, then they had like Spanish, all sorts of shit. It's crazy. But they have such a cool history of stuff. So I'm going to do a little reading on Rusan as I write, and we'll see how this turns out. Okay. Let me see something. What is... Man, all right, this is the last thing I'm gonna say before I start writing again, Sean, but Victorian is such a fucking tough... If you're writing a romance, make sure you get your period shit right, because those Victorian historical romance, historical fiction fans of Victorian area are ruthless with their shit. Ruthless. They're like pre-Victorian, post-Victorian, gold, Gilded Age Victorian, blah 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 blah. They're pretty fucking ruthless. So just make sure your technical details are right with that. Just make sure there. That's all. But yeah, it's a real popular, super popular genre. Okay, Luzon search L-U-Z. Luzon, here we go. Luzon. What is the... Okay, here we go. 1000 CE. That's not right, but that's what Wiki is saying. I'm just scanning this real quick. Okay, I got it. All right, yeah, so right around this period of time is when the Chinese first settlers, that's what they say, but I don't think that's true. This is like the fourth or fifth wave of Chinese settlers to go in there, but I don't know about that. Here we go. All right, let me see. There we go. Okay. All right, so all the way down. You know, the hard part about the Philippines is there's so many conquerors and so much messing up of history but I don't know. I'm not sure if I... Alright, we're gonna have to do some creative license here. Alright, Mai. Okay. Alright, let's look at that. That's what's up. Okay, see? That's what's up. The Song Dynasty. Let's go. Yeah. That's a good idea. A code word, but then it's still a code word. You know, it's still something I have to find, and I could miss it. But yeah, either way. My grammar will pick it up. I'll pick up the grammar there. But all right, so the Mai, M-A-I. The Song Dynasty held the oldest records of some of the oldest records of the inhabitants of the Philippine Islands during their empire's reign. The island chain was known by many different names, but the song called them the what? Okay. Ma'i. The Ma-E. Yeah. Which means... What does it mean? Oh, it could be... Yeah, I see. Okay. And that their main village was on the central island of the chain called Luzon. The Ma'i were a people that were short in stature, but plentiful but full of an exuberance for life that belayed their tiny status, their tiny natures. Wait. Sizes. The surrounding tribes, and nations all tolerated the Ma'i, also known as goblins or hobbits. I have to figure out hobbits. I don't know what word I'm gonna use. I'm gonna probably use like little people, monsters. I don't know. I'll figure some word that's a word that's you know, more accurate to the historical record. You know, I think I've seen that game. Yeah. I think I've seen that. And I forgot the name of it. Okay. But eventually, most societies tired of their antics and the little people were eventually driven, ostracized, and driven away. At least, that is my conclusion based on the minimal amount of documentation that survived in our timeline. Alan explained. Man, seeing the number there in front of me is, I don't like it. It makes me realize how much I have left to write. I don't like that at all. Shit. I don't like that at all. Okay, what else? Let me think. Oh, man. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, I got it. Is there anything in the archaeological record that might be useful to know? I asked my internal co-pilot. Surprisingly little. The historical data on Homo floresiensis, how do you spell that for real? Man, that's it. Floresiensis, that's it. How do you spell it? Floresian. That's it. Aha. Is sparse. What they are sure of is that the species lived throughout the island chains of Southeast Asia, along with those of the Pacific chains, the Pacific There is some speculation about a few small tribes that had been things of myth and a legend in the Amazon, but there was never any hard evidence found. The African continent quite a few digs found bones and other signs of the smaller humanoids, but all of those dated back millions of years. The closest but those all dated back millions of years. The most current theory is that the small in stature hominids migrated out of Africa to Southeast Asia when the other human species, humanoid species had and some served and lived alongside the others until various cataclysms and other more human-centered destructive forces ended their populations. Nothing is known of their cultural or so there's nothing known of their culture or societies beyond speculation. Alan finished. Okay. All right, we broke 21,000. Ugh. Just needs a few to go. That's a good title, Sean. I like that. I hate Ascensions. Yeah. It's like an anti-tower climber. That's a nice spin on the reluctant hero. I've been thinking about writing a reluctant hero, but I have like this book. I gotta finish my last Warrior Academy book, and I have 3 other books in the series I gotta write, and then I have to do a bunch of shit. But I really want to do a anti-hero or a main character that's like reluctant main character. But yeah, I like that. That's a good twist. I like it. You gotta have the twist now too to stand out. There's so much out there to. There's just so much out there now, you know, and it's just gonna get worse. There's just gonna be, and worse is the wrong word. I don't mean worse, but there's just gonna be more and more people writing books, and there's gonna be more and more competition. So for you to stand out, you're gonna have to do a little different things. Yeah, man. Yeah, I don't know, but dope. I like it. All right, let's try to get to 21.5. 21.5. Ugh. I don't know if anybody can tell, but I'm in a standing desk. Ooh, that felt good. Okay. Rio-sama. Rio-sama. Hello. Princess G said, waving her hand in front of my face as she and the rest of the group stared at me impatiently. No, you didn't tell me the other title. You won't write. I'm sorry. Did I miss something? I asked, looking around and realizing that I was out of it more than far longer than I realized. Normally, Alan and I's conversations happen in the summoning cause him to kill everyone involved. Okay, I like that. But what are you gonna call it? Did I tell? Oh, they got what they asked for. A hero summoning gone horribly right. That is a good title. I like that. That's a good title. I like it. I like the subtitle. That's a good one. That's a really good one. That's a fun twist because there's a series of Japanese revenge anime manga that is like people summoning heroes, but that's like bad people summoning heroes, and then like I think there's one like Revenge of the Healer or something where like he's isekai'd into a world, but like it's an isekai and then it's a reborn. So he's isekai'd into a world, is tortured as a healer, just destroyed mentally, physically, is killed, but then is reborn at the beginning of the isekai, and he basically gets his revenge, and it's fucking brutal because he's a healer, and so like his revenge is like, it's just some dark shit, man. People got some dark ideas, yo. I live in a happy place. I try to live in a happy world, and like some of this shit's dumb. Anyway, let me keep writing. It's rough. I think Revenge of the Healer. I forgot what it's called. In the milliseconds, and no one, and those around us are none the wiser. Now, this time, however, I had obviously, Jesus, been not been paying attention. I couldn't help but turn red in embarrassment, but instead of dwelling on it, I coughed once and turned on my work face. You were saying, Lord So? I asked, acting as if nothing happened. Oh, I am sure that will work. Alan proposed dryly. Shut it. Busy now. I answered reflexively as I smiled back at all my friends and worried looks. Okay. Huh. I wasn't saying anything. As a matter of fact, our new little friend here was informing us of who it was that we just rescued. Apparently, it is a delegation from the ruler of Luzon, the king of Ma'i, and that little lady over there is the princess. The others are her personal guard and her advisors. Oh, I thought it was isekai too. Yeah, maybe just a regression. I think there's another one though that's a healer one, but it may not be Revenge of the Healer. But I think there might be another one. I think there's another one that's a healer regression too. I can't remember the name of it. But I think it's a healer, it's an isekai regression. But I might be just confusing because there's so many freaking anime and not anime, but manga, manhwa I read that like, or I used to read. Now I don't really have as much time. That they just kind of roll together. All right, let me keep going real quick. Let me keep going. Turn my attention to the delegation of little people and looked at them as if seeing them for the first time. I had for some reason, after we rescued their ship, I looked them over and immediately dismissed them. Why did I do that? That wasn't like me at all. Interesting. Alan mused, interrupting my thoughts. I have to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. I'll be back in a few minutes. Once in it, everybody else, go to the bathroom if you have to go to the bathroom. And if not, continue writing. And my face flushed in embarrassment. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Yep, be right back. thing about working from home. You can go to the bathroom whenever you want. It's your toilet. Nobody can bother you. Oh yeah, this next 2 years are gonna be fucking wild. I'm sorry, everybody, but I don't know what's gonna happen to the world, but shit's getting crazy. Okay, here we go. What? I'm kind of in the middle of something. No thanks to you. I hissed internally. Well, if you do not want to know that those beings, those homo floresiensis, yep, are emitting a small electromagnetic signal from what looks like from the area where the pineal gland is located. Then I will not tell you. Wait a minute. Are you telling me those people are using magic? I blurted out loud. This time, all of those around me staring at me with concern, were staring at me with concern. Expressions changed to mild relief. Sighed. Breathed out a collective sigh of relief as their expressions changed. Princess Ji nodded at me as if she was talking to a skittish child, or that is right. Gigi was just informing us that the rulers of whose zone are known for their magical powers. That's an interesting prompt. That's a... That's an interesting, like, play on, like... Oh, especially with today's... With today's zeitgeist and the, like... The prevalence of the idea that Gen Z is poor because of boomers, and how the rich people are stealing all stuff from the youngs. So like, that's a pretty good premise. Yeah, I like that. If you're not on Twitch, you don't see this, but Sean's saying there's a premise of a cursed, blessed family where every male gets isekai'd on the day their son is born, and their soul returns to take possession of their son's body when their grandson is born. You might have to figure out something though, because there's not really, like, with that small prompt, there's not really a loss of, like, there's not really a loss because they all come back. Maybe if it's like they get isekai but they come back, then the grandson gets isekai'd and come back. So there's always come back. You know, maybe it's like they get isekai'd and their son dies, like their soul is cast into oblivion or something, and then they have to, like, you know what I mean? There has to be like I think there has to be a better reason detour, you know? Like, it's one thing if, like, hey, my son has to go join the military for 15 years, I'm not gonna see him, but then he comes back. It's basically kind of like that, you know? All right, quit distracting me. I got 750 more words to write, plus. Yeah. Let's go. Cruising along, thinking about what to write. Okay. Okay. Sorry about earlier. I'm all ears now. Gigi, can you please repeat what you were saying? I asked. The little... black-haired... the miniature... the mini-me looking... I don't know, let me see. Rolled his eyes at me, but nodded and did as I asked. What I was saying was, that is Princess gotta look for a famous princess's name. Here we go. Yeah. Yeah, it's all trade stuff. They don't really have any, like, history stuff. It's probably because they didn't like them. Okay. Oh, they have lots of gold. Huh. Or had lots of gold. Okay, here we go. Got it. Buka, daughter of King Dayang, the ruler of Luzon. She is his only child, and for him to send her to Nippon, things must be quite dire back home. Gigi explained. How long have you been gone from your home and looking for help? I asked. The little man put his hand to his chin and thought for a moment before turning to me. It's been over 2 of my birth celebrations, so quite a while, he replied. I blinked at him. 2 years? No wonder your king is sending his daughter out for help. Let's go talk to them and get a better idea of what's going on. The group nodded and we moved over to the we left the stern and headed over to the main deck and the Luzon delegation. Gigi, you handle introductions okay? I asked. Sure thing. In regard to your other question, magic is part of the rulers of Luzon are were chosen for their special bloodlines. The powers of the king and his family are passed down from parent to child. Even the selection of the next Ruler's mate is also decided by their innate power. For that is what I mean by things being dire. So you are saying the king of Luzon is trying to offer his daughter to the Hojos for support? That is pretty extreme. Okay. Oh man, we're at an hour. And I haven't hit my goal yet. I'm 500 words behind. Suck. That's what I get for talking. This is why I don't look at the chats. Come on, let's go. Yeah, I gotta write another page. Come on. He replied, copying our salute, giving me a poor imitation of our salute. I chuckled and shook my head, but quickly got it together as we stopped a few feet away from the Luzon delegation. Gigi began introductions, and I used the time to get a closer look at the novel and interesting group of the tiny humans. The first thing that I noticed was, like Gigi, they were all proportional. Not like a small, not like from the size of their heads to their hands and feet. It wasn't a defect, or it wasn't a immediately I could tell it wasn't a case of what's it called? Okay. but that these folks were born this way. It was almost like looking at doll-sized humans. Why do you not share those thoughts out loud? I am sure the princess and her retinue would enjoy your breakdown of their physiques. Alan teased me. Oh, stuff it. You know what I mean, I retorted, turning my attention back to Gigi and the others. The garb was not quite Japanese, nor was it Song Mongol or anything I recognized as specific. The other cultures I recognized back before the The best thing I could compare it to would be a cross between like Hawaiian or other Pacific Islander cultures, but with heavy influences from ancient China and India. It was as if a Hollywood producer was making a movie from the 1950s and said, just throw them all together. Despite that, the entire effect worked. The robes were styled like kimonos, but cut in a style that was more appropriate in southern India, with decorations that would be worn by a Maharaja or Siamese nobleman. Images and snippets from the king and I, combined with scenes from now kept running through my mind. I shook my... I quickly cleared my head of the ridiculous notion and nodded as Gigi introduced me. It is a pleasure to meet you, Princess Buka. What did I call her? Buddha? Buka. As Gigi said, I am Rio. And we are just glad we were able to come to your aid in time, I said, bowing as deeply as I could to get myself down to the woman's eye level. Well, I'm at 1 hour and 20 minutes, and I'm still not done yet. Today is not as effective writing as yesterday. I still have 500 words to go. Ooh, so 22, 23, 24, yeah. Well, not 500, but like 250. Oh. Okay. Ugh. The 4 small guards wearing a combo of samurai armor, Chinese song armor, and armed with Maori style war clubs tense at my movement. I didn't blame them. The tallest of the 4 was maybe 4 feet. Maybe a few inches over 4 feet. I was 6 and a half feet tall. I'm sure that me bending forward so fast must have felt like a threat. Hell, I remember the first time a horse bumped me in the chest for a pat on the head. I was scared shitless. It was only natural for a smaller being to be cautious around a larger one. Still, I wasn't going to make an issue of it being the bigger man and all. I stifled the chuckle and at my inside joke and then looked up in surprise as the princess began speaking. Her voice, small and tiny like her voice, vibrant and full of life. Vibrant and intense. Nothing like I would have imagined coming from such a small body. Well, 22222205. I think I'm pretty much gonna be done for a little bit. Take a break. Come back in a little while. Write another 1,500. Let's see what's going on with the chats. Wait, let me finish 50 more words, then I'll go check it out. 50 more words. Let me see. 50 more words. Let me go. Let me knock this out. The face that peeked out behind the hood covering her face was also a surprise. She was drop dead gorgeous. Why are all the princesses and the women I meet so damn beautiful? I whispered under my breath. I am not sure how to answer that question. Beauty. Some philosophers say that Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, while others say it is skin deep, and others still say it is a classical and intrinsical thing that defies ... Alan began, waxing philosophical. Can it? That was rhetorical. I interjected before he could get going. The princess was staring intensely at me, and I wondered if she heard my earlier statement. Judging by the small smile on her tiny red lips, she did. Apparently, she wasn't the only one. All right. Did it. Now we're at 22.3. So if I do 1,500 more, that'll put us at 23.8. If I do 1,600, yeah. So that's enough for this session. We are at 1 hour and 30 minutes. I think I can call it. Let me do this real quick. Okay, cool. So, 1, 2, 3 pages, chapter 5, 3 more, and we'll be done with chapter 5. I think I'll be back in a few hours. I gotta do a podcast today with my buddy Dominique Mondesi, who is also streaming on all the platforms. But I shall be back in a few hours. Let me see something here. Oh, let's go do this. Okay. I don't believe we're going to end the streams. So we'll end Facebook and X. Nobody's watching anyway. Sean, good luck with your writing. I will be back in a couple hours. But in their son's body, this is the... But in their son's body, what is not that much. That's true. But even then, they could like wait for, a few decades and like a 15 years, 20 years, whatever the length is, But all right, I will be back. Hey, Jared, what's up, brother? My daughter to school, but I've had... Hey, hi, Millie. So cool, man. Hey, brother. Good luck. Glad you got a productive morning, Jared. Have a good day at school, Millie. I will talk to y'all in a few hours. Well, if I'm back on in a few hours. And yeah, let us call it. That is 1,600 words done for the day. The morning. We'll be back on in the afternoon. And I was saying the podcast with Dominique Mondesi in about 2 hours, and then more writing. So, have a great morning, everybody. Deuces.